The Islamic State group jihadists who had been ruling over Sirte for the past year are now cornered, their backs to the Mediterranean Sea and heavily armed patrol boats.
We've seen them trying to access the harbour area. We open fire whenever we see someone.
Beyond these barricades, surrounded by Libyan forces, a few hundred jihadists remain, alongside their families. Breaking the siege is unrealistic, but from their perspective, surrendering is out of the question.
They're on the defensive. It's become much more difficult for us to advance. We must reconquer one street after another.
Amid explosions, these Libyan fighters from various factions are guiding us along the front line. They've managed to retake most of the city, helped by American air raids. Now they're positioned around this neighborhood, which they call District Number 3.
They have suicide bombers trying to ram us with cars filled with explosives. We had to stop this one with a rocket launcher.
They often rely on suicide bombers, right?
It's relentless. It's their favorite weapon, a weapon for cowards.
Progress is slow, as the Libyan armed forces losing 500 men over the past 3 months. They must advance towards their goal as discreetly as possible.
Thanks to these holes, we can advance from one house to another without drawing attention to ourselves.
This is siege warfare, a lethal game of hide and seek where snipers are hunting down snipers in a maze of ruins and destroyed buildings. In its attempt to slow down the Libyan armed forces' progression and to kill as many people as possible, the Islamic State jihadists rely on their trademark weapon, booby traps. We now meet with one of Libya's bomb disposal experts working around the clock to defuse devices like these: detonators connected to nearly invisible wires, syringes filled with explosive material, traps buried just beneath the surface, explosive vests.
These vests are wrapped around the body and connected to a detonator.
Packed with hundreds of steel ball bearings and covered with highly flammable paste, a single vest can kill dozens of people at once. Some of these devices have even been primarily designed to target bomb disposal experts themselves.
Explosive devices like this one have fake detonators. You think you've neutralized it, but a second one explodes. It's meant to kill people like me.
Sirte had been living under Islamic State rule for the past year. That was well enough time for the jihadists to leave their mark on the city. This building was occupied by the Islamic State group for over a year. This is where their brand of justice was served. This is also where the city's main administrative center was, the heart of power under the rule of the jihadists. One of the first persons to enter this building was this man.
This is the office of the chief clerk. There are a lot of contracts, sales contracts, weddings. I would never have thought that they'd be so organized. They call themselves the Islamic State, and what I see here is real administration, the embryo of a state.
The Islamic State group imposed taxes on Sirte's residents and shop owners. These black stencils on the shop fronts were used as a visual proof that taxes had indeed been paid. Those who didn't pay would be brought here.
This used to be the Chamber of Commerce and a prison.
These used to be the headquarters of the jihadists' religious police. All merchandise confiscated in shops would be brought here. In this room are objects that were banned under IS rule. For example, you have these abayas, traditional women's clothes, but they were probably deemed too colorful, not plain enough. You also have toys, board games like this game of chess, this mask, and also dozens of TV decoders like this one, used to receive foreign channels. Of course, these were banned as soon as the Islamic State group took control of the city. Mannequins were also confiscated as they were deemed obscene. Also in the zealots' crosshairs, musical instrument.
Look at what they did to these drums. They ripped them open so no one could use them.
Rabia shows us messages scrawled by Islamic State group fanatics just before they fled.
Soon we'll liberate France and the United States. Thanks to God's will, the Islamic State is eternal. That's what they think, but they're doomed. They have nothing left here. They don't even control 1 single square kilometer.
As the Libyan troops continue to close in on the city's remaining jihadists, this could mark a major setback for the terrorists' operations in Libya.